guys, it's me, the Inspiring Virtuoso, and I am out here at the Seaport going to the convention center for the opening night of the Mass Conference for Women. Check it out. Tomorrow I'm volunteering at the conference, but tonight I get to be a visitor and take it all in. I'm really excited about it, and I want you guys to come in. I really benefited from the Coach's Corner and the resume review. Over here we have refreshment station, book signing. Then of course there's the booths. Hi guys, sorry I didn't wrap up appropriately last night. It was a full evening, but it was very fun. I took advantage of the resume review and the career coaching. So I am very optimistic about trying to fine-tune some things for myself for a job search. But at the same time, it's the best thing to take advantage of these opportunities when they come. So today I am here at the Mass Conference for Women again, and today is the full day session. And I am volunteering at the 5:45 a.m. To 10:45 a.m. session. So I'm going to get in here and help get things set up to kick off the day.
So they are all the same car, partnership opportunity. You just don't know what opportunities could be coming to you through this platform. All of those ones that I've named, I have seen or had myself through this platform, because you're using it as an inbound marketing tool. You're not using it as an online resume. You're using it as a personal website. If you aren't managing your own personal brand, then who is? And if my employees on my team and my corporate job are not changing and updating their LinkedIn, I pull them in for a meeting. And I'm like, what are you doing? That you know this is what I speak on, right? You need to be actively managing this, so that if you ever do have to put together a resume, guess what? Everything is already there, because you've been nurturing, growing, treating this essentially as a plan that changes over time, that changes as you change in your career. It should be a living, breathing embodiment, not only of your work, but who you are. And we're going to get into that a little bit more.
So I finished my session volunteering. I escorted a speaker over from the West End over to the convention center, and then I worked registration. So it was a really good volunteering session this morning. Good energy, great people. I advise you to take advantage of volunteering if you would like to attend the Mass Women Conference and you're just not able to because it is kind of expensive. It's good to put your hands to something and then get a return. Give and then, you get back. It's really good. So I'm about to go to my sessions now, and I'm going to record a little bit, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it with me.
I'm going to talk a little about the session, and then we're going to open it up to this amazing group of women. So as Jessica mentioned, I'm Cate Luzio. I spent 20 years, almost 20 years, in corporate investment banking, working for companies like Bank of America, JP Morgan, and my last couple of years at HSBC. And most of that was outside of the U.S., so as an international banker. I moved back to the U.S. about 3 years ago after spending 7 years in London. Joined HSBC, and along the way, as a woman in banking, and how many of you are in financial services? How many of you have left financial services? Nothing against financial services. I'm still a banker. I realized as I was coming up, there was still a lack of women at the top. But what I also saw was the women in the middle were leaving as well. And it wasn't just because they were having children, they were leaving for a reason. And at the end of last year, I decided that I was going to make a change, which was extremely scary. And it was only, I would say the catalyst was my mentor, who is a man, and he said, I was leaving the bank to go to another bank, and he said, why are you doing that? And I said, because I'm a banker. And he said, no, you started your career not in banking, you sort of were recruited into banking, so make a change. And if he said, I'm in my late 50s, and if I could give you one piece of advice is do something you're passionate about. And I felt like I was passionate about banking, but what I realized was I was more passionate about the people and the clients, and in particular with the women that I was running all of these women's initiatives. And so I said, I'm quitting. And that was in December of 2017. And in March of 2018, after lots of meetings and discussions with lots of companies, I decided to write a business plan for what's now Luminary. Luminary launched 2 weeks ago in New York City, and we're 15,000 square feet of space for professional women to develop themselves, to network and connect. We're all about you. And when I say that, I mean, whether you work a 9 to 5, who works 9 to 5 anymore, but a 9 to 5 job, you're an entrepreneur, you're entering the workforce, you're re-entering the workforce, which there are so many women, or you're making a career pivot, we've built a community around that. So our whole foundation is programming and content so that you can walk in the door, feel like you're already part of a community. How many of you have switched jobs? How many of you have switched jobs multiple times? How many of you have felt scared to switch jobs? Okay, so we're all in this together, right? And we have to lean on each other even more now than ever before, because there are more of us in the workforce, there are more of us entering the workforce. So we're working at Luminary to help you connect, to get those new jobs, to pivot in your career, and that's exactly what this panel is about. And it's really interesting, when we did our prep call, I was looking at the backgrounds of each of these amazing, inspiring women, and it's all so different. I came from banking. That's who I was with. I was in that silo of financial services. I didn't know anything else. When I stepped outside of the box, I got to start meeting all of these amazing women, and which we're going to talk about now. So this session is how to pivot, but more than that, it's how to thrive. And we've got some great examples. We're going to do a bit of a conversation, and then I'm really going to open it up to the audience because we'd love to hear your questions and thoughts.
Having us. So I am one of the co-founders of Fabfitfun. My background is in content. So after college, I worked in production on television shows like Jackass and It's Always yeah. And I freelanced for a bunch of magazines and newspapers, really in the women's lifestyle space. And at Fabfitfun, we actually have a pretty unique history because we actually started as a content platform. We were an online magazine writing about everything women need to feel good from the inside out. At the time, just about 8.5 years ago, there were tons of these glossies on the market, and they were very much dictating, what you were supposed to look like, how you were supposed to dress, and conforming to a very specific norm. And we really wanted to be the opposite. We just wanted to be your best friend who happens to know everything about beauty, fashion, and fitness. And along the way, we realized that we had built this really, pretty amazing marketing platform for others, and why not use it for ourselves? And at the time, we liked the subscription model. There were a few, sort of guys on the market that were doing pretty well. Really in the beauty sample space for the most part. And for me as a lifestyle editor, I loved getting packages in the mail, I loved trying new things, but I'm also incredibly cheap. So the idea of paying for samples when I could go get them for free at Sephora was just a little bit challenging. On top of that, we really saw the subscription services in these very niche spaces. So, Birchbox, you could see really being your makeup artist, Stitch Fix being your stylist, NatureBox being your nutritionist, but nothing that was really looking at the woman holistically. And as a lifestyle brand, that was really important to us. So we launched the boxes in the spring of 2013, and that's really been the focus of the business ever since. And for me personally, that has been one of my biggest career pivots, because while, I still oversee a lot of what we do on the content side, it really is a business development role. I oversee what we sort of call partnerships. So I curate all of the products that you find in your boxes, as well as, develop all of the different components outside of the box. So things like Fabfitfun TV, our 8 annual flash sales, our community forums, all the things that in case you didn't like your box, you would still love. And just sort of to back it up, if you guys don't know, Fabfitfun is a lifestyle membership. We are best known for our subscription boxes. Women sign up, they pay $49.99 a quarter, and they're guaranteed to get over $300 in full-size beauty, fashion, fitness, home, and tech products. And it gives you access to our membership, which sort of includes, all of the fun things that I just described. But from, cutting deals to, navigating sales and merch, all of this has been learned on the job. And it's been really interesting to learn a completely new set of skills in your 30s. And I think so many of us, pigeonhole ourselves into these little boxes of what we know ourselves to be. I thought of myself as a creative, and certainly doing anything on the business side of things was frightening. I mean, I couldn't even imagine myself doing some of the things that I do today. But I think, giving ourselves the opportunity to explore things outside of our comfort zone is really how we grow. And, really excited to be talking about this topic today.
My background is that I spent 16 years, hopefully not dictating at a women's magazine. I was at Glamour for 13 of those 16 years. I had several roles there, including running our Glamour's Women of the Year Awards, eventually became the executive editor, oversaw the staff. Loved my work all the way through, had my 2 boys who are now 7 and 10 while I was there, and really, really struggled. I knew that I was lucky to struggle with the return to work from the position of a lot of privilege. I had a supportive husband. I had parents who could fly to town at a moment's notice if they needed them. I worked with a passel of women who are extremely comfortable talking about nipples, no joke. And yet still I struggled. And during those years, my husband is a doctor and was in his training, and we very, very much needed my primary breadwinner paycheck. And I loved my work and had worked hard to get to where I was. But once my younger son was 3 and a half, I decided to start exploring this idea of a 5th trimester. The 4th, as I learned when I had my first son, Will, is this idea that human babies are actually born a whole trimester too early, so to soothe a newborn, you recreate the feeling of the womb. Well, I discovered I needed some soothing in a 5th trimester, which I defined as mom's return to work, which in our country, largely, as I've learned in my research, happens before mom is emotionally and physically ready to be there, and dad too, and it's really important to incorporate fathers and partners into these conversations. Anyway, so I left Glamour. I spent a year pivoting into sitting in sweatpants and interviewing people on the phone and becoming the math quant I never knew that I was, looking at data as I did a huge survey of new moms, and started marrying all the data to figure out what helps, what gets us through this transition in a way that allows us to be comfortable being ourselves in the workplace and actually change policy from within, either by moving up and being able to succeed and do it from a position of authority, or simply by being much more open about our parenthood in the workplace in a way that exposes the problems so that they actually can be solved. Then I pivoted again because I essentially have decided in the last 18 months that this book is my best business card, and so I've turned it into a consulting and speaking business. I go into companies and I help them from the reverse side support these new parents. So I've pivoted from dressing for glamour, being a mom in a place where you gotta look good all the time, to sitting in sweatpants and writing a book and learning to start my own business, and now here and talking in front of you. Oh.
So how many of you, raise your hand, how many of you have attended the conference before? And how many of you were here last year? advice that she said to all of us. Viola said that when she attends women's conferences across the country, she often sees fewer women of color than she would expect. In fact, she looked out last year at this very audience, and here's what she said. She said, I know every one of you is committed to diversity, but I just don't see it here. Well, our board of directors heard her message loud and clear, and so did all of you. And we decided to do something about it. We took what Viola said, and we created a new initiative that's called the Viola Davis Challenge. And it's our challenge as the women of Massachusetts to make sure that we can go to 20% to 40% among our conference attendees. And guess what? Look out at this audience. It's already happening, and that's because of all of your great companies. You're rising to the occasion. I know we can do it, and we will. Because of all of you and the great companies that you work for. So thank you, thank you, thank you for rising to the occasion. We're going to do this, and we're going to have the most diverse conference in the country.
Retreat, and I just want to congratulate program development folks, the sponsors, the organizers, and the conference board and its leadership team for putting together a terrific program to go along with the fact that this is, in fact, the largest gathering of a conference for women anywhere in the United States of America. Now, one thing I do want you all to know is we do believe here in Massachusetts that we should walk and talk on this stuff. More than 50% of all the appointments we've made to boards and commissions over the course of the past 4 years have been women. Women serve in senior leadership positions in the governor's office and across our cabinet. I'm very proud of the fact that we're one of the first states in the country to sign a pay equity law. There were some moves at the federal level to step back from some of the federal government's commitments to women's reproductive rights. We stepped up, and the Commonwealth passed bipartisan legislation ensuring that women in Massachusetts, no matter what happened at the federal level, will continue to have access to reproductive rights services, and will do so, in most cases, with no copay and no barriers. Said, I'm just simply going to close with this. One of the best parts of this job, maybe the best part, is the chance and the opportunity I've had, and the Lieutenant Governor Karen has had, to get out and about across this great state, way outside our traditional circles of friends and family and colleagues and neighbors, and to get a sense for what this place is all about. While Gloria just went through a beautiful lineup of some of the great organizations, institutions, businesses that we have here in Massachusetts, the thing that I think Lieutenant Governor and I have learned most of all is what really makes all those places sing more than anything are the people who call Massachusetts home. I don't care where you are in this great Commonwealth of ours, we are constantly amazed by the quality, the intelligence, the creativity, and the community spirit that we see every single day from one end of Massachusetts to the other. This is a beautiful state, but part of the reason it's a beautiful state is because it's filled with beautiful people. And I just say to all of you, I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season. I hope you really enjoy this conference. And I'm going to get out of here because you got some superstars following me. Take care and God bless.
Charming male father-in-law, so I'm feeling very lucky. So we now have over 100 women elected to the House, including the first Muslim Congresswoman, the youngest ever Congresswoman, and the first Native American woman ever elected to Congress. It's important to celebrate these milestones, and because of them, this year has been called the Year of the Woman. But I hope it will be much more than that, because we still have a long way to go. It's still a long road to equality, so long as women in places like Pakistan or Nigeria still fight for the right to go to school. When women in Iran or India must fight for the right to marry a person of their choice, and for the right to divorce when that is their choice. When women in Saudi Arabia or Iran must fight for the right to choose what they wear or to travel without permission from a male guardian.
I'm very excited to have an interview and a conversation with you today.
Thank you, me too. Oh, not that meeting. That's an auspicious beginning.
You gotta sneak those in, don't you, your husband? Well, like it or not, here you go. You are a leader, whether you want to be, whether you're a role model, whether you want to be. But there's no school that I'm aware of for role models. Who was your role model?
Well, I think it has to be my mother, in the sense that, you know, as a parent, I think she, and my father both, but, you know, gave me the best possible start in life by saying, we love you, and you can do anything you want to do, you know, follow something they were passionate about. And I think now that I'm a mother, that definitely stays with me as the most important thing I can now give to my daughter and my son. But I think as a woman, she was also an inspiration in the sense that she had this incredible balance. You know, she cared about what was happening in the world. She was a career woman, but she also, you know, didn't believe in giving up her femininity. Didn't then think that, you know, matters of the home were silly. She was really invested in our family and creating magical moments. So that's definitely been a big source of inspiration.
I've wondered, and I've thought about this often. When I was a kid growing up, nobody that I knew said, I think I'll grow up to be a human rights lawyer. No, I don't remember anybody saying that. Did you say that? Was there a time, was there a eureka moment when you said, you know, this is what I want to do?
I don't think I sort of pieced it all together, but when I was a young teenager, so maybe sort of 12, 13, I definitely remember watching courtroom scenes on TV or in films and thinking, wow, I can be that lawyer standing up in court. So I think I was fascinated by that process, and then separately I was interested in international relations and just people and finding a way to have an impact on people's lives, and I didn't really know how I could bring it all together. But so I started actually in corporate law in New York. I worked at a law firm called and I realized pretty quickly that that wasn't where I wanted to stay. But I learned a lot, and I actually did lots of pro bono cases where I was doing sort of representing criminal defendants across the country, and I realized, why do I care so much more about the outcome of my pro bono cases, and how could I amplify this? And just then is when there started to be war crimes trials in The Hague, and so I decided to move there and try and do that kind of work.
But this gives me a chance to have you share with this audience your story, your own story, where you were born. Oh, incidentally, Amal is a lovely name. Where'd that come from?
So I was born in Beirut. Both of my parents are Lebanese, and the name Amal means hope in Arabic. I was born in 1978, and I think they hoped that there was a civil war going on in Lebanon at the time. They hoped that the war would be over soon, and it actually lasted many more years. But it definitely, I think I'm generally an optimistic person, so I'm not sure if the name created that momentum or if it would have happened anyway. But you know, it struck me recently in the news. There's been stories involving a number of Amals. Actually, it's not such a common name. But I don't know if you saw this photograph of a girl from Yemen, a 7-year-old girl, sort of emaciated, which was just a really difficult image, but one that I think got lots of attention about what's happening in Yemen. She was this young girl called Amal, harassment and who has now been prosecuted and is in prison. Then there's an Amal in Saudi Arabia who protested against the driving ban that applied to women. And she was prosecuted, and it just occurred to me, I was born in the Middle East. I could have been any of those Amals.